I have absolutely no idea why people are harping on Pokemon Violet, Pokemon Scarlet for these supposed performance issues. I've been playing the games since before they came out. I'm a professional video game critic, and I got my advanced copy about 2 weeks ago. And my experience has been absolutely flawless. There's so many people out here criticizing the game. It's really ridiculous. You know, the state the world's in, the things that we've been through so far. Really, we do not need more negativity in the world, yet these quote-unquote video game journalists are out here harping on Game Freak's passion project. I could tell from an hour into the game that this was easily the best Pokemon game to date, even topping classics such as Red, such as Green, even better than Pokemon Yellow. It's just a sad state of affairs when the people who claim to love a franchise so much are actually the ones who end up hating it more than anybody. And I do not say that lightly. It's the toxicity and the entitlement of the Pokemon community. I mean, I don't know what games you guys are playing, okay? Maybe you didn't download the day one patch or something, but I'm running flawless 60 FPS on my Pokemon Violet, Pokemon Scarlet. They're both amazing games. They're technical marvels because you have to remember this is running on a handheld. All right, this is an absolute technical marvel. Are there hiccups? No, not in my experience. I have a frame meister that shows me a live frame rate output on the screen that I'm playing on, whether it's handheld, whether it's TV, tabletop mode, whatever. Flawless 60. I don't know what Digital Foundry or IGN Tech Performance is talking about, man. I don't think that they downloaded the day one patch, and I think they're just being really dumb about the whole thing. We do not need more negative thoughts, more negative opinions, or just any negative sentiment around Pokemon at this state in 2022. It's just sad, pathetic entitlement. And those of you out here who are just fueling the fire, just saying that the game's a stuttery mess, clearly we need to switch to. I agree, we need to switch to when the appropriate time comes. I don't think it's a stretch to say that the Switch has another 10 years in its life cycle. It's such a feat of amazing technical engineering. It truly is. It was the same thing with the Joy-Con drift, that whole conspiracy. That affected like 12 people. Okay, and IGN and everybody else blew it up. Oh, everybody's going to get Joy-Con drift. First of all, I've never experienced Joy-Con drift. Second off, even if I did experience Joy-Con drift, okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like if my Joy-Con stick drifted upwards, suddenly, the character will just move on his own, right? So I don't have to constantly be pressing the thumbstick up to get Link to move in Breath of the Wild or to get Mario to move in Mario Odyssey. They'll just do it on their own, and I can focus on what's going to come next. An argument could be made that this was actually, it's a feature, not a defect, right? Intentional design. But again, that was overblown just like these technical issues are overblown. In 20, 30 years, when you've aged and you've produced children, and they look at you and they say, Mommy or Daddy, tell me about the Pokemon games of your time. You're not going to think as you scratch your balding head and your gray neck beard, oh, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet had such technical issues. No, you're going to look back and say, these were the greatest Pokemon games to date. This is where Pokemon peaked. This was the greatest entry in the franchise. And if you disagree, you're not giving the games a fair shot. You're refusing to acknowledge them for the art that they actually are. Pokemon is not just a cultural phenomenon, okay? It seems like people sleep on Pokemon, and then Game Freak has to come out with a new Pokemon game every couple of years to remind people why they are, point blank, without a doubt, the greatest developer on the face of this earth, period. No competition. I don't think... First of all, let me be very clear here. The fact that Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet did not get a Game of the Year nomination just goes to show what an absolute sham and complete classless joke the Game Awards truly are. I'm going to be hosting my own Game Awards this year, but I hate to spoil it for you folks. Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, they win both Game of the Year and Best Performing Game of those two categories, all right? So, again, those of you who are looking forward to the official Dead Metal Game of the Year awards, I hate to spoil it, but I'm going to do it in the name of defending this once beloved and now apparently hated franchise because they deserve it. And another thing, just real quick, you can't buy just one of the games, all right? If you're thinking Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet, which one do I buy? That's the wrong line of thinking. That's not how Game Freak or Nintendo intended for you to play these games. You need to buy them both. And if you can't afford them both, you can go do some DoorDash, pick up a part-time job, whatever. You're only getting half the experience if you buy one of these games, and you need to buy both of them for the full, complete picture. I would go as far as to say you are not entitled to criticize this game at all until you have fully completed not just Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet, but until you've completed both of them. There's a reason they sell them in a pack together, all right? They sell them individually for the people who want to pretend like they're true Pokemon fans, but they're actually very poor, the poverty-stricken individuals. But those individuals, they need to just work harder. This is America. There are jobs aplenty. Nobody wants to work anymore. That seems to be the sentiment. I see Starbucks hiring. I see McDonald's hiring. And they're going to offer you a very livable wage in 2022. I can promise you that. Anyway, folks, Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, greatest video games ever. If you're not repping these, something's wrong with you.